about everything from AI to getting picked up by the latest record recording studios and record labels. So what we try to do, and we have our keynote speaker this time is manager, uh, who manages Tank and the Bangers,
Okay.
Big Frida. Both of them are Grammy winners, and so this is going to be Reed Martin is going to be fantastic. If you want to hear all about how to be a manager and what a manager should do and some of the new techniques with management, you should make the thing with Reed Martin.
And I'd like to add that this is indeed the 33rd Cutting Edge Conference. And 33 years, my good brother. That's an awful long time, is it not?
Yes, we
Eh,
don't even
that-
mention the
that-
numbers anymore.
well,
Really.
but of course
You
you've
know,
transcended the generation. You're into second
you
generation.
know, yes, we starting to
Yeah.
take it like old people. We don't want to talk about our age anymore. We just say, yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
but that's a big when
Well,
it's
that is a
all
big
said and done. And most importantly, 33 years.
With tongue in cheek,
Yes,
right?
yes,
We
sir.
say it tongue in cheek.
But guess what though? But I know that in your 33 years of existence and doing this sort of thing, you've gone through a number of in New Orleans in particular. You've seen a number of mayors come and go, and you've seen a number of governors come and go, and a number of city council members come and go. What's that been like on the political sphere?
Well, on a
Yes, sir.
political sphere, we of course have our my personal favorite mayor, Sidney Bartholomew,
Hey, hey,
right?
mentor,
Yes,
colleague, all
yes,
those good
all of
things.
those
Yes.
things, right? Purple, let's just get
Oh,
all
that's
that.
right. That's what you all call each other, right?
That's right.
Purple.
That's right. So
Saint
I like it.
Saint Augustine.
St. Augustine,
Yes.
exactly. So I mean, it's been interesting because we are a political animal organization because we get public support. We are very much into what the community and the cultural community and things of that nature. So we have worked with as whoever comes in, and over the years, we've had some good relationships. We had some that are not so good. I mean, but the present mayor administration has been very good. In reality, they created the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund, which is a great organization and an improvement of public dollars by way of how it gets out to people. So all of those type of things have been an improvement to a lot of different organizations and a lot of different efforts. So the politically, hey, it doesn't matter with the state or anything like that because though we exist in the public sphere, we consider ourselves mature enough to know exactly what that's supposed to
Well,
mean.
what is the secret sauce to be able to maneuver through those different perspectives?
Not to assume any
Okay.
posture that anybody have. Make your statement, make your case. Assume that people are not serving in the public environment without some consciousness about what it takes for the public good. So, regardless of what their political leanings are their titles of, liberal, progressive, conservative, right wing, understand that in reality, when you sit in a room with people, you have to always make your case and assume that everybody is going to have come to the table with clean hands.
No, I know also you have great influence in Baton Rouge, in particular with the Lieutenant Governor's office, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungazer, and you formed a great relationship with him. And how is that? Yes, and his
Right,
and
it
his
has
Office of
had
Tourism.
his
Yes,
office
sir.
of tourism. Well, let's be honest. I'm from St. Bernard Parish, so we consider Billy a homeboy, even though he's from across the river.
And
So
Plaquemines, yeah.
Blackman, and in reality, he's a pretty genuine guy, and I like genuine people. I'm all of the other things aside, and he has always responded when we asked him to do things. A matter of fact, we gave him an award as trumpet award for cultural leadership because in reality, people really don't realize how much the lieutenant governor's office does. I mean, most people think of lieutenant governors, vice presidents, and all that as being just kind of throwaway titles, but in reality, they control a lot to do with advertising about the state, a lot of the cultural assets, the state museums, state parks, preservation, all of that runs through, and not to mention the grants of the uh, community grants that runs through the Division of the Arts. So all of those things are very key, and we've always had great relationships with the lieutenant governors.
And quite actually, that is that offers chief constitutional responsibility when
Yes,
it's all said and done.
exactly. And we, like I said, I found them to be genuine, right? So, and that's one of the, I guess, one of my hallmarks is uh, I consider myself someone who can talk to people.
Well, let's talk about some awards that you're giving out. I know that one that you're going to give, and that is the Influencer Award, going to Jimmy Ford, musician, band leader, studio owner. That Influencer Award. Tell us what's the ingredients of that, and
Well,
why did you all choose Jimmy Ford? Yes, sir.
well, one to be an influencer of something like music, you have to be someone who has worked with a lot of musicians, guided them, uh, and have been involved in all type of levels of the music industry and set things up that really is goes out there and moves people around. And Jimmy Ford is one of those people. Jimmy Ford is a musician, a drummer. He's been a club owner, a place that a Ford's place, a place that interesting enough that I happened to have gone to when I was in college, when I was at Tulane. So it's all of these type of activities. He has been a manager, tour manager. He's influenced sound and audio. He runs a studio. He records a lot. He has moved the careers of everybody from Professor Longhair to rock groups like the DBs. He works with all these different rock groups and worked with a lot of rock groups around New Orleans, Cowboy Mouth, all these type of groups. And a lot of time we forget rock in the city of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so we forget how much influence this is. And if you're a rock player in New Orleans, you're going to be a New Orleans rock player, which is like being a New Orleans country artist, a New Orleans jazz player. It's going to come with certain distinctions.
Absolutely correct. And let's talk about. I want to make sure for those who are just tuning in, the dates are going to be August 13th through 16th.
Yes.
And it's going to be at the Intercontinental Hotel downtown. And
The award shows
yes.
take place over at the New Orleans Jazz Museum on August 15th. Friday.
Okay, the award show, and that's good to note and very important to note. But let's talk about some of the sessions you have. You have the music and business sessions. You have cutting edge songwriting sessions, creator's house. Let's talk about the different sessions, because what I think is most important, very, very beneficial, the various sessions that you have in addition to the CLEs, where individual artists can come and get their
exactly. With the CLEs,
yes,
is I guess our flagship event
yes.
because it's one because generally when you do a entertainment law seminar, it has to have its own promotional base, right? So that was an old rule. I don't really know if the Bar Association still does that, but we've been doing it for 33 years, and we still hold on to our original premise and our original conversation with them when we first started. But the other sessions are on. This is a music business conference, right? And so we have to talk about music business items that people in the music industry today really are trying to get their mind around. Some of this stuff might be over the head of some people, but my theory on about things that happen when you go and it's over the head, it becomes your way of knowing where you need to go. So if you go to a panel session or you go somewhere and you're like, I don't understand this, it's over my head, or I can understand some of it. Well, now you know where you need to be going. This is where you need to be reaching towards, not expecting people to meet you at the level that you're on. Why? That's not something to advance your career if they just bring everything down to you. So the music business sessions are all set up in order to be able to One, give people a foundation and then layer the information on top of that. You get the foundation, songwriting, what to do in the studio, but the information then progresses on to, hey, let's give you a few hacks as to how to make this system work. Let us make you understand exactly what this AI situation really is and what do you do with this music once you get it? What do you do with a song? Well, how do you get placed in a movie? Those
Yeah.
are very important things for you to ask yourself and ask the speakers. Go
Well,
in there and ask them some questions.
what I do like one of your initial sessions that you have is one on contracts, music contracts conversations, and I think that is something. Well, at a minimum, that's something that everyone should know. Even all the
Everybody,
everyone.
that is, like I said, that's a
Yes.
foundation conversation.
Okay.
That's a foundation conversation because the entertainment industry is a contract related activity. In the entertainment business, in the legal business, it's called transactions. And so you hear that in political and everywhere else, transaction. It's very transactional. They have a transactional attitude about that because the world is based on interaction and people making agreements. And those agreements have got to stand. If they're great, until which time there's a conflict, a misunderstanding. So you need to know what these transactions and these agreements really are about and understand, let some people walk you through the basics and then let you expand from there.
And you have another session, I think, which is very, very good. And I think for anyone that is production ideas versus project management, recording studio tips, tricks, and hacks. Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah.
That's kind of creative.
Yeah.
That particular session. I don't know how it
Yeah.
developed, but it's really good. Yes.
Well, that's because, when you get down to it, you have all of these conflicting things that happen when people are in these studios, right? Right. You
Yeah.
have people who walk in and they have all of these, the managers and everybody has these concepts. Well, there's such a thing as workflow.
Absolutely.
And so workflow has to be with how you're going to maintain all of this, how you're going to get this all done. So you can have all the ideas that you have, but it might not be what's going to happen inside the workflow. So inside of the studio with all of these different people, the engineers, the producers, the musicians, the manager, maybe a record label person, right? All of these folks are there and they're there to facilitate their interest, which is getting out of this session what they want.
Yes.
So now you got to get into exactly how does this really work by way of coming up with the final product, right? So some of the tips might be rehearse everything and decide as much as possible before you get into the studio.
But I do, and then take note that you have one of your sessions is by invitation only.
Yes.
Songwriting. So I guess that is purposeful. Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, because see, this is a actually working session. The songwriting camp is basically 4 hours at a time, where people sit down in small groups and write songs. And those songs, everybody has to be on the same page about not so much what the song is going to become or what song. They need to be on the same page as to what you're walking into. So if it's 4 people in the room, then everybody gets split equally 4 ways. Because when you write music, you create ownership in music. And when you create ownership in music, it becomes a question of who owns what. So the agreement when you walk in the room has got to be, you got to split the room, everybody equally. And therefore, only the people who are writing can be in the room. Because we don't want your girlfriend in the room. And next thing you know, they make a comment and somebody say, oh yeah, that's good. And now it's no longer a 4-way split, it's a 5-way split because you allowed your girlfriend, everybody allowed your girlfriend to contribute even a minor part.
And some writers, when they invite somebody to participate with them, and some individuals say, "I want you to participate if you can give me four stanzas, whatever it may be."
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So,
yes,
but we don't want to develop into that kind of thing. So everything has got to be honest brokering. If the cutting edge has got to be an honest brokering environment. We're not trying to own anybody's stuff. We're not trying to slight. We're not trying to favoritism. We have to create an environment where the arena is all about you being able to anticipate what you're walking into.
now, brother KJ, you talk about the metaverse, and in the metaverse, publicity, branding, marketing.
Yes.
And so many creative people don't even notice. I should say, don't notice it. They don't like to spend a lot of time doing that because it takes
That
away
is a
from what they
tragic.
do. Yeah,
That is a tragic truth.
yeah,
That people spend time creating these products, but no time knowing how to extend it out and get it into where people are going to uh, be able to enjoy it, digest it, buy it, know about it, and everything else. One, I get it. The creative process is time consuming to learn, is stressful, and people have to put a lot of themselves into it. But there is another part to the whole process, and that is getting that product out.
yeah.
Because, as I always tell people, you can play music at your home by yourself, but you're not walking into a recording studio with other people and starting to produce something and claim that, well, this is just, this, I don't have to do all of that. Because believe me, everybody is doing it for a commercial reason. The recording studio has you there because you're paying. The producers are there because they have an interest in it. The other musicians are there because they want to participate in something that is perhaps either they're getting paid for or that extends their professional career. So you can't have a cavalier approach. I got it and now it's mine and all that. So I don't have to do anything with it. Or I'm going to take it and I want to send it. I want to send it to Jay-Z and he's going to want it, right? Oh, okay.
Right,
All
exactly.
right.
And you're right. It cannot be cavalier, but there's so many different sessions that I can just go through that you have here that you're going to do, and some of them repeat from previous years. From booking, that's important. Touring, that's
absolutely.
important. You don't want, and it's conversations on publishing. But all those are awesome sessions, and many of them are concurrent too.
Yes.
And so you got
You got to
sometimes you got to make a choice.
make us a choice. You have to make a
in terms
choice.
of what's important to you at that particular point. But
Absolutely.
your keynote speaker,
Yes.
yeah, we've got to mention your keynote.
You know, the keynote speaker. See, we split it in two different ways.
Okay,
We have the music business session keynote speakers, and we have the legal keynote speaker. So the
All right.
music business session keynote speaker is Reed Martin, who is the manager of Tank and the Bangers. On
Right.
the legal
We talked
side,
about
we
him, yeah.
have what is called a interview, an interviewee, a keynote interview, and the interviewer is a lady named Kim Bowie, who is a veteran A&R person. She's the one who's going to get you to deal with the record company.
Yes,
And negotiate it
yes.
and get you there and hey, take you to university. She's the one who will get you with Jay-Z. You're just sending your song. You need somebody to
That
shepherd
can
you.
open the
in
door
music.
for you, and like the way you said,
and-
shepherd. Yes.
They got to shepherd you, and they're going to negotiate and make things happen. Then we have a Lifetime Achievement Award with George Porter. George Porter, for those people who don't know George Porter was the bass player for the Meters. And he has been playing in New Orleans one way or the other ever since then. George Porter and the Running Powder, George Porter and the Funky Meters. You know, he does things all over the world, but if you really want to have a great music experience and just get down to some New Orleans music, go to Maple Leaf. George Porter holds a weekly session there. He is the journeyman and one of the most sampled bass players in the world. They sample his music all over the world. He is. It just listen to
Yeah.
just go back and listen to some of that music stuff.
we recognize it.
You will recognize that bass player.
Well, all this that you're doing, and I I think it's appreciated by far. But I want you to talk about, because for individuals who need to know this, and we talk about this from time to time, because you and I personally talk about it. But talk about some of the alumni
Oh,
of your sessions, and
hey,
and what they've done and what they're doing, and the great things. You already know my favorite.
yeah,
Goes all to the Alabama Shakes
Alabama
people.
Shakes and all of those folks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Lafayette people.
Yeah, the Karen Crow,
The Karen
Mark,
Crow, yes,
Mark
yes.
Broussard.
Yes.
But but we've had Master P. I mean, we've been doing this since '92. So at one point or another, folks were young. So and we've had people who've gone on to play with you know Tony Mamoni, who is a big time producer now, and he went on and he performed with They Might Be Giants, which is a legendary rock group. Of course, we've had you know Delphio Marcellus, and all of these different folks who just gone on to have a full career, because that's what we are about, helping people develop a full career.
And tell us where your people come from, because this is really an international conference, and when
Oh
it's
yeah,
all said and done.
absolutely.
Yeah.
People come in from all over. This year we had folks coming in from Mexico City, coming in from Canada, from Netherlands. A good friend of ours was supposed to come, but I think he's not. And his name is Tony Moore, and he is, you know, uh, you'd have to know the groups, but they were like Maiden, the Cutting Crew, all of those type of. Those were his projects he was a part of. So people come in from all over the world. They're coming in from Hawaii. They're coming in from the West Coast, the East Coast, Florida. A lot of big folks out of Florida, out of Texas. Then across the state,
Yeah.
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to emphasize the fact that many of the folks who do come, they're not just merely that. It's not just it's for every level that you're involved in.
Oh,
No, it's not
absolutely.
just introductory level, but it's for every stage. Yes.
Well, it has to be every stage, because this isn't. We're like I said, we're building careers. So we're not. This is not. We're not momagers, right? We're not. We're not working with people's kids and things like that. We encourage people to. If your kid if wants to play, we don't mind that. We can make an arrangement, but you have to be there, because you're the one who needs to know this, right? The
Yeah.
the adults need to know it. We like it when the children, adult or young children of musicians come, because I believe that that's how we're going to build the industry in New Orleans. I mean, building the industry off of people who are expecting people who are playing every day to go out there and then become publishers and run record labels. It's not really that practical. They're playing, they're creating the lure that makes everybody want to be a part of New Orleans music scene. It's their kids. It's the ones in college. It's the ones who have seen their parents perform and all of that, and who has an interest. The interest doesn't always have to be to go out and perform. Sometimes it is to learn about all the other aspects of the industry.
Well, you know what? I would be remiss if we did not mention this. And that's the fact that you're also an academic. And so, and you're a professor over at Delgado. And tell us about the classes that you teach there and how you integrate what you do in terms of the practical experience with the academic experience. Yes.
Well, I teach in the music industry program over at Delgado, which runs between two ways. It's the recording technology, music production part, which is Chris Nicotera, and then the other part is on the part about music business, intro to music business, music marketing, promotion, music entrepreneurship, and those are the classes that I teach. So what I try to do is this is something that somebody uh, instructed me on years ago. Right, go to go to go to the conference or go to any conference and try to meet three people, preferably three people a day, and one idea that would advance your career, a musician's career. And those are the ways I try to integrate them into going and just finding out that go and meet people,
The networking thing, it works,
networking.
and it absolutely works. So, in the remaining minute or so that we do have, please tell our listening audience and viewing audience as well where you can be found, where you can be reached, and also the dates of the conference and the twin dates that's become so important. Yes.
The conference dates are August 13th through 16th. The panel sessions and the first day is all about songwriting, and the panel sessions start on the 14th, and so does the performances. So those performances are going to take place at places like the House of Blues. You can also get involved by going to our website, cuttingedgenola.com. And, the conference itself, the panel sessions are going to take place at the Intercontinental Hotel
Yes.
and at the Broadside, where we're going to do a creative house that is totally open to the public, where we have all type of creators, tech people, music industry organizations, and lots of music.
Oh, and the cost of the conference.
The cost of the conference is, if you want to participate in the CLE, which is 16.25 hours of continuing education credits, that's $450.
Attorneys.
And for the 3 days of being involved with just coming to the conference is 350, all of which can be broken down into 1 day, half day, depending on what it is a person has time to do or trying to digest.
Oh, man, again, this is so absolutely fantastic, and I want to thank you for joining me. And I'd like to let you know that this has been truly outstanding. It's a treat to have you on the program always. And you come sometimes not only to talk about music and business,
Oh, yes.
but we also talk about the political arena as well,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
economic arena. And so that works very, very well. Again, this is Dr. Clark's 101, the Living Classroom, and I thank my guest, Mr. Eric L. Cager, for joining us for the Cutting Edge Music and Business Conference. You can follow me on all platforms and aspects of social media. And as always, it's been a pleasure.